all the way.
Yeah, we just had to press
Right.
Glad nobody
record.
texted me or
It
something.
was like jacking the
Went off.
screen up.
We've always had to communicate with the opposite sex. We were infants and we were handed around between men and women, but we didn't really think of anything then. And then when we got to elementary school, and we thought it was abominable to associate with the other kind because they had cuties. And then when we got to middle school and we had our first crush and we were all lovey-dovey. Then we got a little bit older and we thought the opposite sex was totally nuts. Males and females have always had different opinions on everything. And I'm sure everyone in this room has realized that. But I don't think we've ever really tried to understand each other. And I didn't really think about it until I started my first real relationship with my boyfriend. So today I'm going to talk about problem-solving, disagreements, and emotions. Let's start with problem-solving. Males and females have always thought differently about things. For one, males like to think about one thing at a time while females like to multitask. Some would say that males would use strength where females use emotion. For example, Dr. Michael G. Connor, a clinical and medical psychologist, says, "None of us would argue the fact that men and women are physically different. Men usually have greater strength. Men are essentially built for physical confrontation and the use of force. A man's skull is almost always thicker than a woman's. The stereotype that men are more thick-headed is not far-fetched. Women, on the other hand, have 4 times as many brain cells connecting the right and left side of their brain. This latter finding provides physical evidence that supports the observation that men rely easily and more heavily on their left brain to solve one problem one step at a time. Women have more efficient access to both sides of their brain and therefore greater use of their brain. Women can focus more on one problem at a time and frequently prefer to solve problems through multiple activities at a time. Nearly every parent has observed how young girls find the conversations of young boys boring. They usually talk about trucks or dinosaurs or something. Young boys express confusion and would rather play sports than participate actively in a conversation between 5 girls who are discussing like 3 things at a time. Men seem to be quicker to solve things. For example, they use duct tape or WD-40 to fix things. This relates because they don't look for double meanings. They don't read into things like women do. And women come to long, drawn-out conclusions that men usually find unnecessary. Now that we've discussed that, let's talk about the way we handle disagreements. Typically, you'll see males in large groups of friends, and they're all close. They fight their battles physically when it comes to that. On the other hand, females have 1 or 2 close friends, and if they fight, their battles are usually verbal or emotional. According to Simone Lieberman, a motivational speaker and psychologist, women are more likely to talk to other women when they have a problem or need to make a decision. Men keep their problems to themselves and don't see the point in sharing personal issues. Women are more relationship-oriented and look for commonalities and ways to connect with other women. Men tend to relate to other men on a one-up, one-down basis. Status and dominance is important. Women focus on building close relationships, and they want to extend each other or understand each other by experiences and asking questions. Men like to tell and give information rather than ask questions. This is also a way of being one-up with each other. If women have a disagreement with each other, it affects all aspects of their relationship. Men can have a disagreement, move on to a subject, and go get a drink together. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about emotions. According to Satoshi Kanazawa, who is also a psychologist, the male brain is characterized by systemizing tendencies and mechanistic thinking. Systemizing is the drive to analyze, explore, and construct a system. The systemizer intuitively figures out how things work or extracts an underlying reason. The purpose of this is to understand or predict the system or to invent a new one. In contrast, the female brain is characterized by empathizing tendencies or mentalistic thinking. Empathizing is the drive to identify another person's emotions and thoughts and to respond to them with an appropriate emotion. Empathizing occurs when we feel an appropriate emotional reaction in response to the other person's emotions. The purpose of this is to understand another person, to predict his or her behavior, and to connect or resonate with him or her emotionally. This means that males are usually mechanical thinkers and women are usually emotional thinkers. In conclusion, although I view men and women as equal and acknowledge that not everybody fits this typical mold, I believe that everyone is made unique and differently, which isn't a bad thing. I believe this subject should be studied more. There are more than these 3 things that are different about the ways we communicate. It should be more important, and I hope I got your minds working.